All right, good morning, guys. Today we're looking at PLRX here. It's looking pretty decent. Nice climb up most of the morning, but I'm not quite sure what it's going to do on open here. It does have quite a bit of room for a drop, so we might see that. We've got TPLT here. Did have a good run up today, going from about $2 to just over $3 here. It is sitting below that VWAP line currently, so maybe we see a break above that and it starts to push. We've got fun. It was looking good early on here, going from about $1.43 all the way to $1.74. Its range is kind of broken down a little bit here, so we might not see too much action out of this one. METX was looking good early on as well. Again, not really looking too great right now. We've got RDHL. A lot of barcoding happening right now, but RDHL's ran in the past. Same as Fun and METX, so they all seem to be popping up together again. So we'll probably likely see at least one of these three run. But again, not looking too great right now. PGen has its moments here, but very little volume, very little price action, so we probably won't see anything out of that. And we have in right now, which is also looking pretty decent. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. When it hits that 200 EMA, we might see a bounce. What kind of work like YouTube videos, TikToks, getting things set up for the business and whatnot. I really don't ever take like time off. I usually work through the weekends and stuff. So far, PLRX is looking all right, still climbing. We've got TBLT, not really doing a whole lot right now. I think I might expect this one to take a little bit of a drop on open. It looks like it might get down to that 200 EMA, which will be an area we want to watch. We've got fun, kind of bouncing around. Might stay above that 200 EMA. Anything new popping up on the scanner? MYMD we could take a look at. It's looking better than PGen. NYXH. We're not going to be playing LJPC. I can almost guarantee it. So we can just swap that out now. NYXH. Yeah, no, we're not going to be playing that either. We'll see if LJPC moves, but I don't think it's going to. I believe this one's a buyout. So it's probably not going to do a whole lot. TBLT looks like that's a good candle right there. Got 4 seconds until market open here. All right, TBLT looking like it might go up here. We are seeing on a support line. In might curl up. PLRX looks like it wants to go. We could try an early trade on PRLX or PLRX. Let's try that. It's kind of hard to say where we want to get in. I would like to say probably about $15. It's a whole dollar down though, so yeah, I'm gonna wait that one out a little bit. TBLT is looking pretty good though. It's holding pretty strong here, so we're gonna go for a 270 entry. We're gonna go for a 290 PT and then a 260. Let's give it a 262 stop loss. That's about what we want on this. 262 right there. All right, so we got a decent entry there, so we're going to see what we can do with this. Okay. So far, we're seeing a little bit of a drop if you were waiting on your entry. I would probably keep that stop loss roughly around that same area, regardless if you got in lower than the 270 mark. But we're going to see what happens with that. PLRX still shooting up, so I guess we're just going to have to jump it on PLRX. It looks like it wants to run. So we're going to go for 17.50 if we can. We're going to go for $20 PT. Not $2, $20, and then probably just a $17 stop. So we want to give it about 50 cents from wherever we get in. So if we get in there, we're going to go for a $17. I mean, you could almost put a whole dollar and be safe with it. Yeah, it's halted right now. We've got in looking like it is going to bounce off of that 200 EMA. Very bullish right there. So I also want to call an in trade. We're probably going to go for like a 230, 232 entry, 233 entry. We're going to go for 250 and then a 225 stop out. That gives us about 8 cents. That's good enough. In fact, 225. Should be just enough room. That's in. We're climbing up really fast here on in. The dip went down to as low as 233. Maybe you got in a little late there. I definitely didn't get quite 233, but we are moving up, so that's looking good. We have TBLT very, very close to the stop out there, but it looks like it is moving back up now. We did seem to hit that 280 mark, so you could start to take some profits at 280. Take some profits on TBLT. Whoop, TBLT at 280 ish. Might get higher than that. Here we go, 284. Good to take a little bit of profit there. All right, maybe we'll see 290 pretty quickly here. We did just slightly break out there. LJPC not moving as expected, so we can just close that down. PLRX halted. Oops, I just closed down in by accident, so we'll just open up a new in chart. In's looking okay as well. We saw that nice bounce. We saw a high there of just under 250, which is basically PT, so hopefully you took some profits. Hopefully you took profits on in. So funny, this puppy literally scratches his ears and groans. TBLT is looking pretty good here, 288. Yeah, I figured you guys could hear that. Yeah, he's a little weird guy. Funds are doing okay. METX not doing a whole lot. RDHLs, it did make its move here a little bit. I wouldn't say it's anything fantastic, about 4 cents there. So 4%, mid 4% move there. MYMD is not looking too bad either. We've got a couple things popping up on the scanner. DWAC-W we're not going to play because those are warrants. TH could be a possibility. We could open up a TH chart and see what's going on with that. TH is looking pretty good, actually. We went from 780 to 830, so, you know, not a terrible little amount there. PLRX still halted. We have Fun up at 150 currently, looking to break through that VWAP line, possibly. Maybe we'll get an entry here at 147. Let's give that a shot. Fun, 147. We're going to go for about a 155 PT and then a 1. It's not a huge amount of room. And then a 140. Give it a 144 stop. That should give us a decent range to play in. I mean, you could go as high as 145 as a stop if you want to, but I don't think it's really needed unless you, if you jump in late, then yeah, definitely. But you could give it about a 3 to 4 cent stop loss pretty comfortably on the stocks, though. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's quite a bit. There's 147 if you were being patient. TBLT is looking all right here. In's breaking down a little bit here. I'm sure we'll see another bounce. PLRX still halted. Fun down at 148. We have METX dropping. RDHL really going for it right now. We went from about was that $1.02 all the way up to $1.11 here. We'll probably wait for a pullback. MYMD is not really doing a whole lot. TH not doing much either. These candles, they're okay. I mean, we got about a 30-cent range on this candle here, so definitely not the worst. Let's see here. Fun dropping down to a support line there at 146. RDHL at 112. RDHL is another one that looks like it wants to go, so I guess we're just going to have to jump in and hope for the best. RDHL, we're going to go for, I'd like to get a $1.08 entry if we can. That's right on that support line in VWAP. We're going to go for a $1.15, and then we're going to go for a $1.04 stop. So we're going to give it a decent amount of room here. Right at the bottom of $1.04 is going to be about here. So if you can't quite get that entry on RDHL, you may choose to give it just that little bit of extra room instead of taking away from your stop loss to make sure it's below that 200 EMA, but that's totally up to you if you want to do it that way. Extra risk is usually not something we want to go for, but in this case, we don't really have a lot of room for error on this 200 EMA stop anyway, so can't really afford to give it less room unless you want to risk it just bouncing off VWAP or that support line, which, you know, maybe you can. Or maybe you will. PLRX is unhalted. We're at 1850 here. Did see a high of $20, so that would have been PT, but we'll see where this is going to go. Okay. TBLT is taking a little bit of a nasty drop. Hopefully you took some profits on that when it hit that 280, around 284, 286 level. Fund still not looking great. RDHL went down a little bit to about 109. Not quite where we wanted RDHL to be, but probably close enough if you were looking for an entry on it. Okay. RDHL back up to $1.11, so that's looking all right. TBLT hits stop on the remainder. We could be looking for a re-entry here, but we don't really have much in terms of support in this area. We might see a little bit here at 259. In's breaking down pretty bad as well. We could look for a re-entry on in. I think this one's also really risky, but we're at a good spot within, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and take another re-entry on it. I'd like 226, but I think we're probably gonna get 228. And we're gonna go for a 240 PT. And then a just give it a 220. Let's give it a 223 stop. So we're going to give it a couple extra cents of room on that stop right there. And we're going to see where that takes us. Okay. Fun stopped out? Yeah, probably. Yep, that's not looking too great for a trade. So let's hope that we can make that back. We might be able to make it back on this. This is pretty under or overextended here, so this might turn around pretty much immediately now that it's basically hit our stop loss. We could see that probably turn around. TBLT as well, I'm thinking, and we have in, and that's going pretty well so far. We'll have to give a couple of these a minute here. PLRX is looking good. We did drop down to about 17.99. Not quite sure where everyone got in on that. But I'm in about 18.11, so I'm still kind of hoping for that $20 PT. At 18.11, I'd probably put a stop loss at least 17.60. TBLT looks like it might start to move up here. We haven't seen it break a new low yet, which is definitely good news. We still have quite a bit of volume here, so we're going to go TBLT. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. TBLT, 260 for an entry. We're going to go for a 280 PT, and then a 253 stop loss. So we're going to give it a little bit of room, but we're not really, we don't want to see this break into a new low here, so we're definitely going to call it quits at 253 there. In's looking pretty good at 235. We were really only looking for about 240. We could start to take profits here on in if you want to. It's not really huge profits by any means, but it's not too bad. So I'm going to take a little bit here. 235-ish. Might get a little higher than 235. TBLT looks like it is turning around a little bit here. Okay, my med's not doing much. We got TH. Again, the candles are ranging quite a decent amount, but it's not really showing me anything I want to see so far. PLRX still sitting around that 1860 mark, 1880 mark. ES is dying. Oh yeah, look at that. Correct. Yes, good observation. That is definitely dropping. That was a nasty drop. All right, we have PLRX moving up a little bit here. We saw it break $19. We saw 19.20. Could probably take a little bit of profit there. We're up about $1. Taking some profit. PLRX, whoops, at 19 or around 19, wherever you. It's hard to really give like an exact number when you're up this high on stocks. So we're taking them here, 1950, but because it just moves around so fast. It's really hard to really just lock it in at any specific number. Although we are almost at $20 here. We just passed $20. We're at 2030, 2040. Funds bouncing back up. Yeah, see, I knew that was the bottom there. I should have bought back in. That's okay, though. TBLT makes us move all the way up to 278. Take some profits there. That was a nice, easy play. We were just about at that PT before we even started to take profits on it. Ins back down a little bit, but we did secure some profits around that 235 mark. So hopefully we don't end up in a stop out with the remainder. But if we do, we'll see. I also forgot that we were in RDHL for a very long time there. We are well past PT and we have not taken any profits on it. So we're going to go ahead and take some profits. Yeah, that was just one of those ones you kind of set and forget, and definitely paid off there. So you averaged out the stop loss. Oh, for ES. Yeah, but that's a dangerous game when you start playing it. Oh, for fun. I got it. Yeah, kind of a dangerous game to play it like that. I think fun might yeah. I think fun might come back down to that point again and we might get another good re-entry. TBLT just about to hit that PT. Oh, we actually did hit PT there. TBLT. Okay, so it's looking pretty good, I gotta say. Stock market's looking a little better today. That's for sure. We're at 240 on in. That's PT as far as I know, so we can call PT on that. IINN. And taking some more profits. And leaving a runner. All right. One second. I gotta go and put my dog in the crate. He's eating my carpet. Boy, what are you doing? No, come here. Go chew your stuff, dude. Like I could hear him doing it. I just didn't know what that noise was. Figured it out. It's the carpet. Yeah. He's a little pest when he wants attention. He'll bug me, and if I don't give it to him, he'll immediately start doing something bad instead. He hasn't figured out it lands him in jail though. All right, so PLRX is looking good. We are at $20 on that. Hasn't really moved up too much higher, but this is a pretty strong looking stock, so I'm just going to hold on to that remainder for a little bit here. TBLT did hit PT, not a whole lot more. Funds not doing a whole lot. METX, we could probably just close. It's just basically dying. RDHL is coming down. It's a good thing we took profits there around that 118 to 120 area. My med did shoot up quite a bit there. We went from 460 all the way to just under $5. This one's kind of a weird one. It's got low volume, so I'm not super interested in playing it. but we'll see. Might be an opportunity at some point. TH is also climbing again. We're near that high day. PLRX is halted. Looking good there. In we hit 241, 242. Looks like it might be coming back down, but again, in is looking pretty good still. We haven't had a major breakdown from that 200 EMA. We've come back pretty good, so I think we could probably maybe even try for another re-entry when it comes down. TBLT down a little bit. Fun still 150. RDHL finally coming down a little bit. On this VWAP line, we might see an opportunity for jumping back in. RDHL. 111 entry. We're going to go for that 120 PT. And then we're going to go for probably a 108 stop. We're just going to give it 3 cents because we don't really need a huge stop on this. Of course, it would be nice to have no stop loss like some people, but unfortunately, we need to put one on there. We're not scared of institutions. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Typing all the wrong stuff in. Okay. PLRX is halted. I'm clicking all the wrong stuff today. In's coming back down. I'll probably be looking for a re-entry again around 228. We might not quite see the dip below the 200 this time, which is okay. We can always get in around 230 if that's the case, but we'll wait and see what it looks like at that point. RDHL, sorry, looks like it's doing pretty well here, starting to move back up. Didn't quite get down to that $11 mark, but it is moving back up. So if you did get an entry, it's looking good so far. TBLT not really making any moves in either direction yet. We still have a runner on it, but nothing huge. Hopefully we start breaking into that $3 area. Waiting to see what PLRX does on the unhalt. If it goes up to like $23, might just take profits at that point. I would like to see it hit that $23 mark. That would be fantastic. RDHL looking good still. We got in at $1.13. You'd probably be looking for a little bit more than $1.20 as your PT. I mean, you could still have it as your PT, but I would be looking to get in or out at about $1.22 at that rate. We'll see what happens with that. TBLT breaking new highs here, I think, as of recent anyway. Not quite the high over here of 287. So we'll see if this can break a 287 high. It might turn around. TBLT large red candle. RDHL, nice spike up to 119. We could start to take profits around this area. Start taking some profits on RDHL. 119, not the final price we want to get on this, but nonetheless a decent one, even if we got it late. Just to secure a little bit there. Still have a little bit of PTSD from Friday there. That was just such a bad day. We walked away with like basically no money. It's kind of a waste of an hour. Okay, let's see. In still seeing around 235, PLRX still halted. We got TBLT coming back down to 270. Fun dropping a little bit. We might buy back in when it hits that 144 area, which it looks like we're approaching pretty fast. I could probably just send out an alert for it. Fun 144. What's PT here? 152. I'll go 151 with a 140. Maybe give it a 140 stop. That gives it about 4 cents. I don't know if I'd hold quite to 140. There's quite a bit of room between our entry and that. And we really don't want to see it break down. So I think realistically, a 142 would be a great stop loss. You really don't need the extra room. We definitely don't want to see this break a new low. PLRX unhalts. Hit a high there of 2140. Came down a little bit here. Now, is it done, or is it going to keep going? Tough to say. RDHL hits that 120 area. Still would like to see a 122 for the remainder. I don't know why, but MyMed and TH just look like they're doing nothing to me. I can see the range. I know there's money there. I feel like it's just kind of hard to get out of it. Just don't feel like playing that. RDHL back down to 116. We've got fun. Dropping down to that 145 area. You could always take a 145 entry if we're going to cut at 142 anyway. 145 is not the worst. That secures at least that you got a decent entry on the stock. TPLT still sitting around that 270 mark. PLRX down to the $20 mark, and in is still not really doing a whole lot. In fact, I dare say pretty much nothing. But it's good that we have a little bit left in this, because honestly, it's kind of stocks like this where we stop paying attention to, and all of a sudden there's a giant green candle in it somewhere. And brings us to PT. TBLT might be going for it again. We didn't quite get low enough to make a decent entry out of it again. I'd still like to hit about 260 for another re-entry. Fun hitting that 144 area, so that was our PT, or pardon me, our PE. So now we're looking for that bounce. We're going to see if it breaks down. MACD is just about as negative as it was last time before the bounce. TBLT just about at 280 again. PLRX starting to die. RDHL still sitting around that 117 mark. Bottom band is open up pretty wide here, so that's definitely not the best option, but we'll see if this recovers or not. It'll be a tight stop out if it doesn't. RDHL down to 115. This could be another re-entry possibility at 112. MyMed could be an entry possibility here at 473. I'm not too convinced this is going to go for another one. We are right at that zero line as well. Fun's still holding on. TBLT is still at 280 there. Yeah, MACD's starting to turn around on Fun, so that's definitely good news for us. Let's hope that doesn't change. Could be an easy PT here in a couple seconds. Just need this candle, next candle to turn green. TBLT at 280. PLRX back to $20 here. Might be going for a consolidation before another run. Fun back down to 145, 144. MACD starting to reverse. Going back up. It's all over the place. All right, RDHL. We could probably look for a re-entry about $1.12. RDHL. $1.12. We'll go for $1.20 PT there, and then a dollar. Let's give it a $1.08 stop. So yeah, we're gonna use the same stop, basically the same trade as last time. Looks like it's being pretty predictable in its range. Basically, whatever I put as the PE, you get 1 cent less than that, and then PT's usually right there at 120. Although this time that top band's closing down pretty good, so we might not quite hit 120, maybe like 119 or 118. So 113 to 118 would probably be the safest bet. Fun with a breakdown right into that 142 area. Could have been a cut right there. We'll see if it drops back down to 142. I still think this is due for a recovery. Back up to 144. PLRX with a nice couple green candles here, bringing us up to $22. We're still in it. You could take a cut here. It is right at the top band. Looks like it is breaking through a little bit. 142, entry at 145. So it stopped you then? Ah, that's too bad. Fun's looking, or PLRX is looking pretty good here, 2250. I did kind of want to get a little bit more out of it, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the remainder. I don't know, I don't really want to cut the remainder. Yeah, you know what, it's probably a good idea to secure some profits, so I'm going to try to. Securing the rest of profits on PLRX around 2250-ish. Somewhere around there, that's what we'll be looking to take that profit. Fun doesn't really look like it is going to come back, but we're going to see. We're back at the 142 mark. RDHL 118, 119 just before PT, and that's PT right there, so we're going to go ahead and take some profit. We'll leave a small runner just in case, but 120, we haven't broken that quite yet, so yeah, looking to break that 120 mark eventually here. That's the goal. That was a lot quicker to PT than I anticipated it would be. My med's not doing a whole lot. TH isn't doing a whole lot. We are back into 142 on fun. Man, this is going to be one of those ones where if I cut it, it's going to go straight back up, and if I don't cut it, it's going to go straight into my stop loss. I can feel it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it, though. That's okay, I ended up taking a very, very tight stop on that 143 exit, so... Damn, I could have gotten break even there. Oh well. PLRX looking good still. In still not really doing a whole lot. Same with TBLT. RDHL still looking for it to break that 120 mark. If it can break that, we might see some new highs here. Kind of a redundant statement, actually. Of course, we'll see new highs because that would be a new high. We'll see. Fun down to 141, so far it looks like the right idea to cut at 142-ish. Oh yeah, it's definitely still possible it's going to bounce. I just didn't want to leave it to hit that stop loss right there. However, this is the pre-market low, so if we start to bounce back up, we could look at re-entering and putting a stop below that 140 area, because that is the market low for the day. RDHL does break through. We did see 122 out of it. That's definitely a good place to take some profits. I'm going to try for taking some more profits around 123-ish on RDHL. My med breaks down a little bit. TH not really doing anything. What else we got? VLCN we could take a look at. So let's go ahead with VLCN, which is looking pretty good. It's actually got quite a bit of range to it. It's got some nice nice momentum. It is hitting a pullback here down to VWAP. So we're going to go ahead and probably pretty risky, but we're going to try a VLCN trade here on VWAP, so we're looking to get in 207. We're going to try and hit 220 out of that, and then a 203 stop. So we're just going to give it a quick 4 cents. We don't need more room than 203. All right, looks like we're getting a 206 entry. Still giving it the 203. I don't want to see it break down from that VWAP any further. Going pretty well, though, I have to say. Almost an immediate recovery. 215, 216. Looking for 220, but from 206. Yeah, taking some profits at 216. Profits, VLCN 216. No, taking some profits. 216. Looks like we hit 220 there. That is PT, so I didn't even get to take some profits. But I'll take some profits at 220 and we'll keep going. Looks like this is primed to go all the way up to 230, so we'll see if it can get there. TB LT took a little bit of a drop. Fund does look like it's bouncing off that zero, not the zero line, the bottom of the market here for fund. So could be another re-entry opportunity. We'll see. Let's go fun. Try to get a 142 to 152. And then a 140, I give it a 138 stop. So we're going to give it 4 cents of room, and that brings us down to 138. So that's below the market low. So hopefully we don't see a breakdown. If we see another breakdown, it's going to be 3 stops on fun, and that's pretty regular for fun. I find that it's so hard to play, but we'll see. It's a good premise that it hasn't broken that low yet, so. What did I mistype here? Okay, so we've got fun. VLCNs back down quite a bit from 222, back down to 206. Could get another re-entry on it. I think I might try another full. VLCN 206 to 220 with a 203 stop again. I'm just going to give it the same stop. I don't want to risk too much on it. PLRX still looking good here. TBLT, nice green candle after it hits 260. Was waiting a long time to see 260 there, and I kind of missed it. Fun doing okay. RDHL dropped down and hasn't... Are we still in RDHL? No, we hit PT. Okay, never mind. Just have a small runner in that. That's not a big deal. We did hit that 123 mark, though. So we did pretty good on that trade, honestly. That's about 10 cents there. VLCN, we got about 14 cents. VLCN this time's looking good again. Not as good as last time. I find that like last time was just one candle straight up. This time it's not quite that. But we'll see. All right. We have PLRX heading down. We've got in, not doing much. TBLT back to 270. Fun. We did see it back up to 146 from that 140 area. Coming back down pretty dramatically here. May see something happen here. Could I doubt it's gonna break that low. That bottom band is still looking pretty strong, so I doubt we'll break that. RDHL might bounce off the support line. Might look for a re-entry. I mean, like, this seems like a really odd place to do it, though. Especially with that bottom band opened up pretty wide, so I think we might just leave it be for a little bit here. The only thing we could really bank on is the support line, which, again, wasn't really a super strong one by any means, so... We'll give it a minute. We'll see what it does. VLCN still looking decent, though. We could get stopped out very, very quickly on this. We are a little bit in profit, so you could take a little bit of profit here if you want to. It's not really going to be great. It's a pretty volatile stock too, so we might see that 220 happen real quick. Um, let's see, anything else? Not really. PRPH. Let's try that. Nah, yeah, don't like that at all. CFVI. Oh, that was another old one. CFVI, I haven't heard that one in a while. It's at that $10 range, so not really something too fantastic to trade, but it's looking okay, I guess. Except the volume and the price action don't really tell you a whole lot here. Probably just leave it be. VLCN hitting that zero line on MACD, so this is where it gets a little dangerous. Could probably drop to stop. I think I'm going to take a cut on this one. I think VLCN. Oh. I don't trust that MACD being at that zero line while we're on VWAP here, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut for break even. Looks like that was a good move because literally 3 seconds later we stop out. Fund back up to 144. Yeah, PLRX is at 20. Could be a good re-entry around this line here at $20. You might be able to get it back up to about 22. Not fantastic profits, but you know, it's not bad. You know what? Actually, it's not too bad. It's about 9% or something. Fund's still not really doing a whole lot. Curious to see if VLC bounces at any point here, if it's just done. So we're going to go ahead and watch and see if it's just done. Watching for a MACD curl, and maybe it stops here at the support area of 197. I'd be willing to give it a couple cents from at 197. VLCN 197 to 220, and then a 194 stop loss. An area of support. So we're going to see if maybe that holds. We're going to give it again a tight stop loss. We don't need a whole lot of room here at 197. Basically, we're looking to give it just a couple cents room. So we're at 198 right now. That's 196. So we're going to jump in here wherever you can. So I got 195. So we're going to give it at least 3 cents a room. So we'll go down to 192 for a stop. You could give it a couple extra cents if you want to. I mean, at $2 stock, you could definitely give it up to about 6 cents for a stop loss. So at 195, you could bring it down to 189 if you want. I don't really think that's going to make much of a difference. If we don't hold here, we probably won't hold at all, but we'll see. Funds back up to 145. Might just take a little bit of a cut here at 145, 146, or a little bit of profit. Taking small profit on fun 145-ish. Just because it's not really looking fantastic at this point. Those bands are closing in pretty tight, and it could be a while before we see profit. I don't think we'll necessarily see a loss with it, but you never really know. All right, we're still looking for VLCN to start to curl up. We are pretty negative on that MACD, so we should see it at some point here. I'm just hoping that our stop loss doesn't get in the way of that. RDHL continues to die. Fun at 145. Looks like it's just about to touch that 146 area. TBLT, damn, we really wish we got in at 260 again, because it's almost at 280 now. PLRX looks like it might curl. We're seeing a little bit of movement here on VLC and bring us back up to 198. We shall see. We shall see. Fun isn't so fun. Fun is like never fun. I always dread seeing this stock pop up because it always looks like there's opportunities to make money. And there probably is, and I don't know if it's just my play style of how I decide to trade stocks, but I just can't ever really seem to make good profit on it. I wish I could go back in the tracker and just type in a ticker and see all the trades I've ever taken on those stock. You know, just like look up fun and see them all. Actually, you know what? I probably could. There's probably a way I could do that on this tracker. I just have to. I'll ask ASOS because I'd be really interested to see how many times I've stopped out on some of these stocks. Because there's some of them that are just taboo. I won't touch them anymore because I've just done nothing but stop out on them. IN's usually been pretty good. It's popped up a couple times over the past year or so. TBLT's popped up a couple times. Funds popped up a lot. RDHL's been pretty decent. Never heard of VLCN, I don't think. Oh, Volcon. Yeah, I don't think I've ever traded that. CFBI used to be good. I think we traded that at some point. Never heard of PLRX. Boring, yeah. No kidding. Did hit that 146 level for profit taking. VLCN is going to stop us out. That's 193. All right, so that is VLCN. Yeah, it'll most likely bounce. I really do think it's gonna bounce. 100%. And that's the problem part here is that I mean it could be a dead cat bounce, but you could still make a decent amount of money off it. I just don't know right this second because that bottom band is starting to open up really wide. We could see it drop some more, so we'll just we'll just leave this be for now. We'll watch it for a little bit here. All right, so we are breaking down further, so it is probably a good thing that we took our stop where we did. We might get as low as our last support area here is probably going to be 184. If it breaks down from 184, it could come all the way down to that 200 EMA, which is definitely not something we want to see on this stock. Because when you see something that's a run up like this and it's left this huge gap, it's so hard to cover that again on the way back up. TBLT back down quite a bit here. Hit as low as 264. There's a pretty reliable range going on with TBLT, so if you haven't really been playing it, I would really consider at least keeping an eye on it because there's pretty predictable that it drops down to about that 260 area, back up to about 280. It looks like it's starting to trend down a little bit, so next time maybe get in 258 to like 275 or something. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Fun coming back down a little bit. RDHL not really showing us anything we want to see. VLCN still holding that 190 area. MACD might start to curl here. Still lots of sellers coming in, not a whole lot of buyers. We're getting really close to this area where we need to see some buyers step in at 183, 184. Okay, so they're starting to buy in now. I think I'm going to give VLCN one more shot because we made some quick money on it before. VLCN, 188. We're going to go for 205 and then a 184. And even 188 is like a lot. And 184 is like right at the bottom here. So we're hoping this does actually start to pick up and curl up here because if it doesn't, we might be looking at another quick stop out. We'll see, though. We got 16 minutes to make this work, so hopefully we pick the right entry there. PLRX back down. We did hit a high at 22.40. Not too bad. We only ever really took that one trade on PLRX. Hasn't really been like, doesn't really look safe enough for a re-entry. RDHL starting to come back a little bit. MACD starting to curl. This could be another good opportunity, so I want to jump back in on RDHL as well. 110, we're going to go for a 120 PT and then a 10, give it a 107 stop. If you get in 110, you only really want to give this about 3 cents of room from wherever you get in. That would be ideal. So if you get 111, you're putting a 1.8 stop. VLCN needs to start moving up. Now's the time, not later. RDHL sitting there, not seeing a whole lot with anything else right now. TBLT almost back down to that 260 area. RDHL 112. You don't feel like you're cheating, man. We pay to have him live stream for you guys, so definitely take advantage of that if you like it. All the resources are for you guys to use. It's just unfortunate that he likes to trade the same time I do. And then we had Warrior as a partner for a while, but again, you know, he likes to trade the exact same time I do, and it just like too many conflicting live streams going on at the same time. So unfortunately, I think I draw the most attention. So like poor Warrior was stuck with like two people in his room, and then we had like 20 to 40 people in here, sometimes more. Pastor does his on Zoom. And Warrior doesn't do it anymore because I think I hurt his feelings when I told him he was boring. I told him he has to like liven it up a little bit. And he's like, I don't know how, I only trade SPY. And I was like, well, stop being a boring trader, I guess. Trade penny stocks like a man. Yeah, no, yeah, and that's what I told him. Like, you have to kind of fill that dead area. He's like, well, I take a trade and then I just kind of sit there and watch it. I'm like, yeah, but you kind of have to explain what you're watching, what you're looking for, you know, like, especially if you're only looking at one stock, there's really not a whole lot, like, there's not a whole lot to go on with that. So, like, doing a live off it just doesn't really make too much sense. But yeah, eventually he kind of just gave up and he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do alerts. I think he still does alerts. Actually not really sure. Let's see. Yeah, he apparently he's still on our thing. Um, yeah, and then the other problem we had with him though was that we were like, well, maybe it's a good idea if you don't do your live when I do my live. And he's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. So he started trading like the hour after I start trading, which works better time-wise, but he starts stopping out. You can't see Pastor's channel. You have to what's it called? You have to go to like the start here thing and then like manually unlock it. Yeah, and I think if you go to the regular trading chat, yeah, it Soulburn linked it, so you can just click on that and it should bring you to it unless you have it ignored. VLCN is not really looking great right now. Funds back down. Let's see here. RDHL still at 112. We did drop to that 110 area though. But yeah, he does Pastor's options. I think he scalps options, if I'm correct. He's pretty good at it. I'll give him that. He's pretty good at it. And I think if you're gonna play options, scalping them is probably the best bet. Yeah, definitely not looking to force anything. I think, yeah, besides the two trades that we're in right now, we're basically sitting on our hands, and VLCN's not really looking super fantastic right now. We could walk away with a couple cents, but I don't know. We're still waiting on this to actually turn around and start moving back up. That's probably honestly a good idea. I mean, it's just kind of like those are two like fingers crossed trades that they start to turn around. TBLT with a nice jump. So we hit that 260 area and it jumped up to 280. Well, look how predictable that is. If you jumped in that, definitely start to take profits of that 280 mark. Well, yeah, I mean, like the market's been okay. I wouldn't say it's been great by any means, but given what we had to deal with on Friday, this is pretty decent. Friday was rough. Hey, there you go. Yeah, I still have to go and test out his indicators on futures because apparently it works pretty well. How's it going? Yeah? Cool. What's like the room for error on that? Like when you jump in, how much room do you kind of have to anticipate that it's gonna at least an 80% win rate? That's awesome. That's really good. Hey man, anything above like a 55% win rate if you're using as an indicator, that's fantastic. Like that's just straight free money. So anyone who doesn't actually have the indicators should probably grab the indicators. Especially for futures, because, well, futures can be really boring if you have to draw supply and demand zones. If you can just stick a rhino on that and just make money, hell yeah. Nice. That's awesome. Fun is definitely breaking down from that low, so it's a good thing we took profits there at 146. RDHL also breaks into that stop loss, so depending where you got in on RDHL, you probably already stopped out. VLCN, however, it did make a decent recovery here. We're almost at $2. From our entry point, that's actually a good place to probably start taking some profits. So, taking some profits, VLCN around $2. And then we stopped out on Fun. Did we stop? No, not Fun. RDHL. That's what I meant to say. Hey, there's that $2 mark right there. We could potentially see like a nice boom up to 210 here, but I don't want to get my hopes up too high. We did see a nice increase in volume and we just broke possible on that MACD, but we're hoping we don't see a retracement in that. Oof. Market. I always sell market. We got Wiz. I think he might be the only one though. Futures is like a relatively new hype. No, I don't think we have anyone that actually gives like full on alerts. Yeah, that's what I said too. That's why when people ask me to alert for it, I'm like, I actually can't. Sometimes my trades are literally 15 seconds long. Yeah, you could literally just follow someone trading SPY and trade ES the same way. Higher Wiz raises paycheck. Yeah. I don't think Wiz wants to like directly alert futures either though. I think it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. The numbers are big and it moves around. It's so volatile and like the only thing I could say that might be better for that than penny stocks is like getting the ranges correct could be a little bit easier. Yeah, exactly. And if you get the indicator package, you can use that's the one you use for ES is green steps. Yeah, it's got a pretty good win rate. I'll have to test it out at some point. It's not a person, it's an indicator. PLRX, it does look like it's dying. Volume is definitely taking a hit here. We are seeing that the candles become a lot smaller, so a lot less conviction in the stock. I do think it's just dying at this point. RDHL heading down. VLCN still at $2. We haven't really broken past that $2 mark. We have like 3 minutes left to trade, so we'll see where this goes, but I'm not sure it's going to go much higher. No, you would use it on TradingView. Unless you can integrate TradingView on NinjaTrader, which might be a possibility at some point. Yeah, that's useful for pennies also. All right, so we'll go over the trade tracker because VLCN's being kind of boring right now. So let's go down. Ignore this day that says null. I think I missed a day early on. It says this is the first, but it was actually the second when we started. So everything's kind of a day weird. So I just fixed it. So instead of saying the 8th, it's now on the 11th, which is the proper day. So moving forward, it's the proper day. And KSOS fixed it to make sure it's the right month. So we're actually in July now. So look at that. We have something that's working somewhat. As far as trades go, we took quite a few good trades. We took a couple that were really tight stops. We got an 0.7, 0% and 1% and almost a 2%. So we got almost 2% trade losses. The rest of them were pretty good. 83% total. That brings our daily P&L to $600 on our $500 account. That brings us up to $2,000. And please tell me that fixes our win rate a little bit. Now, I think it went down again somehow. That can't be right. Oh, it's because it's counting that one as a loss too. The null trade. We'll see though. We'll fix it by the end of the month. I want to get back up to about a 70%. But yeah, looking good so far. VLCN's not really looking fantastic by any means. I do care about my win rate more than making money. Hey, there you go, DOS. See, DOS, you do so good at like slowly building the account. You just have to like not make mistakes. Exactly. If you build the win rate, the money will follow. That's exactly how it is. It's gotta make it's just like the big mistakes that like the carelessness for like 2 seconds or something, or like something just goes wrong and it just ruins the whole thing. I hate when that happens. Yeah, I used to be like that all the time for me. It still is sometimes, like even with futures, like I left a trade open the other day by accident. It was when everything was glitching out and I took a trade on one account and it just kind of like glitched and went away and I was like, oh, okay, so I just redid the order. And then when I was just about to close, I took a screenshot of the accounts and one of them was moving up and down. I was like, wait a second, is there an open trade on this account? And I went back and it was like up $500, but it easily could have been down. So it's just, stupid things like that just really, really ruin trading for you sometimes. In that case, it was a happy surprise, but still a scary one. Oh, cool. There you go. PLRX is curling. Yeah, a little bit. VLCN's back down. Fun's heading down. So I would not play Fun. I would stay away from Fun. In's pretty dead, so I'd stay away from that. PLRX, you might be able to make some money on. It's not looking fantastic by any means. I still think that this is pretty shallow in terms of profit, but I mean, like, maybe at some people's boat. It's not really mine. TBLT is looking pretty good. Pretty consistent range. We did hit 284, so that's a new high, so you can expect less of a low from this. Maybe 267 for a low for the next one. But range trading TBLT could be a definite possibility here. RDHL, definitely a possibility that this can recover. It's been sitting on that 200 EMA for a while. If it starts to move back up, there could be some good trades on that. VLCN still holding quite a bit of volume. It's starting to die out here a little bit, but you might see a little bit more of that, and CFVI wouldn't bother playing. So that's what I would basically be focused on today. Other than that, hopefully y'all made some money, and I'll see you again tomorrow.